Hi, I'm Sylvia Gordon. This is my sister, Rebecca Gordon. We're talking about the Senate Finance Committee called the Wyden report on Medicare Advantage, misleading and
borderline harassment,
overly aggressive tactics. So the Senate is now involved. So this summer, CMS, which is regulators, they're not elected, and all the agents were like, I talked to my congressman, my friend works for the senator. They don't know anything about this, right? They were completely oblivious because the regulators were changing the rules.
Right.
Well, now the elected officials are in on the problem.
And what is the problem?
Let's show a video of one of our actual clients.
On both sides. Can you believe that? That's the last years. For how many years has this been happening?
So
This zoom in on that.
Is a customer out of Idaho who started writing down when he was getting solicitation calls for Medicare.
Yeah, so there you go.
And he started writing down the dates, the phone number, and the time. And it's amazing. Some days he had 3 calls. Some days he had 2 calls. Some days he had 4 calls. And he logged this down for over a year. Front and back of aggressive calls.
I mean,
if this isn't harassment.
If you don't know there's a problem, this little video will show you there's a problem.
This is unbelievable.
I've had clients say, I get 10 calls a day. I get 20 calls a day. The most he ever had in a day was like 4. Can you imagine how irritated you would be if you got 4 calls a day every day?
I kind of equate this to an interrogation. Like, I love to watch Dateline. You're watching, and they're interrogating who they think the suspect is. And they grind and they grind and they grind. They finally admit that they did it. But they didn't do it.
And who did this? Who's doing this? Is this field agents?
No.
Are we just cold calling people all day long?
No. This is.
Do we have robo dialers that change our phone number and spoof so we can just keep calling? They don't know it's the same phone number. They can't block us. Who is doing this?
I don't know. Who do
is
you
this
think
legacy
is doing this?
agents, field agents? This is the call centers. The call centers.
The big ones.
I'm going to get tired of saying this. The big ones.
The big ones.
Are creating a nightmare for our Medicare beneficiary. They are starting to hate Medicare agents. There was a time there when they're like, yeah, I specialize in Medicare. And like, oh, thank God, can you help me? Because it was so hard to find somebody to help.
Right.
Now they're like,
right.
You're one of those predators.
But it's not just this. It's also the leads that are coming in the mail that look like official documents.
So go back to the Wyden report, the little thing. So Senator Wyden is a Democrat from Oregon, and they published a whole report. We'll leave it up here. You can go read it if you want. But most of the stuff we already knew, right? That these leads that are so popular look like official government mail.
Yeah.
And it'll say
official.
Right,
I don't know. It might say official government mail. I don't know, but
they always say we are not. There's always a disclaimer to keep it legal.
They look fantastic.
But the format looks like the same format the IRS uses. Just plain black and white, the weird spacing.
Right.
And people are scared. It says attention, Medicare beneficiaries. You must claim your 2023 benefits by December 7th.
These tactics, they're so aggressive. And what is shocking is my in-laws have been with me this whole week. And they're early 80s. And they're in great shape, but, I can, they forget things and this and that, blah, 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 blah. I can't imagine them being bombarded with these items. I remember I got an alert from Amazon that my account had been hacked. Totally official, totally. And I started to go in and reset things. And then Darren's like, wait. And then we Googled it. Total scam. I'm 51. And I was that close. I tell them, don't touch anything. Don't open anything. This is such a slippery, dangerous slope for our seniors.
And I've had a lot of clients call me and say, Sylvia, how can I protect my mom? She's on the federal do not call list. She's on the Ohio State do not call list. She answers every call because, one, she's lonely and bored, and she changes her insurance several times during AEP, and I have to go back and fix it. And she goes, and I've told her not to, but she's like, will a power of attorney stop this? Like, yeah, you can get power of attorney and guardianship if, there's certain legal rule. But you can't stop her from doing it. You're still going to have to fix it.
There's a problem. It's a glaring problem.
So in the Senate report, one of the things that they said that they're upset about is, shocker, the TV ads. The TV ads are misleading. So what came down from CMS, it says, okay, after AEP, after 60 million people are subjected to this 24 hours a day, after AEP, we're going to change how these TV ads are filed. Because right now you can just file and use it, and they're going to make it has to get approved. Somebody actually look at it.
I thought that was supposed to happen like last year.
No, that's going to happen in January. So the TV ads, they will have some changes starting. The changes that we saw last year where they have more disclaimers. This is not available in every area. But they put more super microscopic disclaimer font on there. And I take pictures of the TV to try to screen capture. There's no possible way you could read it. Right. So the TV ads are making tremendous amount of money for these huge call centers. It works. It works. But it's also driving complaints. So what are the statistics on the complaints?
Oh my God. So if we look back to complaints reported to CMS in 2020, there was about 16,000. 2021, 40,000.
More than double complaints to CMS.
Which is why all the scrutiny is coming down, and it should be.
And a lot of people are complaining. They're like, my doctor's not in my network. Right? All kinds of stupid stuff that people are just slamming, bamming. People that just get paid. Call center people that don't get renewals. They have no incentive to keep it on the books. They just want to get it cranked through. Yeah. It is a problem. So the Senate committee wants to deal with the mail, wants to deal with the misleading TV ads, wants to deal with the use of the name
Medicare. So that has been, that's a big thing. So
that hurts me in my heart, because who am I?
You're a Medicare mama.
I'm Medicare mama. So if you haven't checked me out on social media, I'm formally known as Medicare mama. So I had to go trademark Medigap mama.
Could you become a symbol?
But a lot of people have Medicare.
Oh my God.
In their name. Medicare Help Center.
And they run great businesses. And they do a great job.
If you have Medicare in your name, you need to start thinking about your rebranding right now. First of all, you would immediately want to go grab the URL before somebody else, because smart people will go buy it and then sell it back to you. Mm-hmm. You got to figure out what you want to be. So if you want to be, something Medicare. You could be Medigap, because that's the states. That's not Fed control. You could be Medigap. So I'm going to be Medigap mama. Whatever. But if it's in your name, you need to look at changes before you get new business cards, buy new T-shirts, all your brand, order a new outdoor sign, expensive things. This right now is just a report. This is not action. This is the Senate Finance Committee's findings.
But it's on the radar.
It's going to happen. You're going to get Medicare out of your name.
The spotlight is coming down.
And the other thing they want to get rid of is that loophole where you can cold call people.
So I could call somebody for a med sub. Right?
Well, not if they're
not in Ohio.
Not if they're in the federal do not call or the state do not call. Ohio has a specific.
But I could call somebody.
So call me in Indiana.
I could call you in Indiana about med sub.
Yep.
And then you could ask me something about.
I'd say, what about these TV ads?
And then, there we go.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to close that loophole, but you can legally cold call, final expense, hospital indemnity, dental vision hearing.
I'm just wondering, if you start asking me about Med Sup or Medicare Advantage, do I have to start recording you?
Yeah.
Gung, 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 gung.
But most of this is lead generation. So, it's lead gen companies. It's the actual
It's just
TPMO
another step.
That they cold call people to generate a lead.
It's another layer.
Yeah.
It's another layer.
It's on the radar of the Senate Finance Committee.
So be proactive.
But the other thing is, we all got to be realistic here. It was an election year. So certain things happen in an election year that get shelved in a non-election year. So what we really want to know is, after this AEP is over, what do the complaints look like first quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Did they go down?
Mm-hmm.
Did they go up? If the same bad actors had the same exponential rise in complaints that they've had the last 3 years, what are the carriers doing to enforce it? Because the carriers are the ones
So that's
that
like
have
a
to stop this
20%.
behavior.
Yeah.
And the Senate, the Wyden report, said, hey, we want to get the bad actors punished. Yeah, we all do.
Right. It's bad.
We
for
don't
all
want our
of us.
clients getting caught. He's been her client
Well,
for 15 years, and he got that many calls.
It's bad for our good call centers, our great partners that we have. This is bad for everybody.
It's bad for everybody. It is bad for everybody. But CMS does not sanction agents. The carriers have to step up and do something to these call centers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that's coming because we
well,
had
like
a
I
lot
said,
of heat this year
I
on
said,
retention.
let's see what the data looks like when the AP's over and the
Have
dust.
a look at the facts.
Yeah, and see what did they make changes? Because I've talked to people that work in call centers for the big call centers, and they said they are terrified of getting a complaint.
I'm sure.
They're so terrified they don't even want to sell anything. Because if they get a complaint, they could lose their job. And I'm like, well, you guys made this problem.
God.
So that is something that is coming down the pike. The other thing is that the Wyden report blamed some of the problems with Medicare Advantage, misleading, misrepresentation, over-aggressiveness. They blamed it on the Trump administration, which is always kind of par for the course, right? But they're saying the Trump administration relaxed a lot of the rules, which is why we have way more problems.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule that was relaxed, where you don't have to file educational events. Like, I don't know how that.
I don't see
I
any red flags with that.
Yeah, I don't.
Just make it easier for agents to inform.
I don't really see that as a
Medicare.
problem. But I like how they had to throw a dig there. Like, this whole problem started with the Joe Namath TV ads, and we all saw this problem coming.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all in it together, but we have no ability to do anything, right? The field, all of us independent field agents,
We just have to keep doing our thing, doing it right, and
keep our complaints down.
keep our
Keep
complaints
our people
down.
happy. Yeah, because it's eventually the people that are actually creating the problem are gonna have to pay the piper. Right now,
And good riddance to
right now we're all paying the
Right.
piper.
Yeah, I don't see this being closed up anytime soon.
No.
All right, folks, that's all we have.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you next week.
Hit the subscribe button if you got valuable information about the fascinating Senate Finance Committee report.
Fascinating.
And you didn't hear it elsewhere. All we ask is that you hit the follow button. You're getting free information. Hit the follow button. I mean it.